Hello, everyone. I thought I'd talk a little bit about last week's budget announcement and just let you know some of our further thinking here at CHA. First of all, a huge congratulations to our Finance Minister, Grant Robertson, for pulling together a budget and having it be delivered on time in what are these unprecedented times. That's a huge feat in and of itself. Overall, $50 billion worth of investment into our economy. It is about jobs. It is about protecting livelihoods. And in that sense, I think the budget has got some really strong measures. On housing, there have been really two main measures. The announcement around 8,000 additional public housing places. IRS funded social housing places is what those 8,000 represent, largely breaking down as 6,000 new IRS funded places and 2,000 transitional. We'll talk about those mechanics here in a minute. In addition to that, there was an announcement around $40 million specifically for Maori Housing initiatives. So I think we want everyone to just get your heads around those things for a minute and why those are significant, but why also they are not enough to achieve the goals that have been set out in the Homelessness Action Plan. But firstly, I think it's important that we keep in mind that we want to see really two parallel tracks developing. We want to see, of course, direct investment in Maori housing solutions, so kaupapa Maori approaches, as well as the ability to develop capacity and capability among Maori housing providers. So in that sense, the specific Maori housing announcement is a very positive step. But we also must make sure that the overall housing system, as it's rebuilt, that it also works for Maori and Pacific. So we can't allow it to be off the hook about also delivering fully as well. Let's remember too that the Homelessness Action Plan is something that, remember this lovely cover that came out back in February. It's worth a read. I strongly suggest you take another look at it because I think it will help us frame the further work that we all need to do around the detail of how the actual investment through the budget will work. Let's go back even farther. Our sector put together the Our Place plan back in 2017 with wide endorsement across the sector. We were calling for a human rights-based approach then. And it is important to see things like the Homelessness Action Plan as a step in that progressive realization. So we must always ensure that it's around affordability, habitability, accessibility, and security of tenure, and that we're delivering through culturally adequate approaches. So those are some of the cornerstones of what that rights-based approach would look like. When we do that through work, both here at Tamatapihi and CHA, we are trying to really understand more fully how we partner and how we can deliver in a rights-based and treaty-based approach. So as we go forward here, the things in the budget that we need to work on are we need to ensure that the way that we deliver these 8,000 new places happen in a place-based way. So the fantastic work that you're all doing coming together in our supply pipeline work is one of the ways we can demonstrate that. Let's think about if we actually start figuring out the different developments that many of you are working in a place like Tauranga or in the Waikato or perhaps down in Dunedin or in top of the South. How do we get many providers in one region actually talking with each other about your different projects and where they can have some interface with each other? Maybe you thought you would only do 100% IRRS social housing rentals. Gosh, maybe there'd be a way that that project could deliver some affordable rental or even some progressive home ownership in that development. Have we done that before? Not necessarily. So let's think about how we can possibly do that. And I think that will help overall in our sector being able to deliver in the place-based approach. So remember, the pipeline work you're doing in just very short time, with only 12 providers reporting, has surfaced over 63 developments across 2,638 potential units, with a total development cost of around $780 million. What we're going to keep working on with you is making sure that every provider's potential development opportunities come to the surface, and we start understanding those in a greater way in a place-based regional level, and then we can engage more fully with HUD to make sure that this additional budget investment can actually flow with better funding settings so that we can enable all of those developments to occur. I'll stop there for now. Looking forward to the continued work, and keep up the fantastic work that everyone's doing.